If you were given a chisel and a big piece of rock, what would you do? Well, that would depend on what you could see. Hi, I'm Dr. Dan Middlebrooks, and welcome to the Light of Liberty. As the story goes, a little boy was walking up and noticed a man that began to look at a large piece of rock for a really long time. He looked at the man, and then he looked at the rock. He looked at the man, and then he looked at the rock. And then finally, curiosity overtook him. He went up to him and he says, "What are you looking at?" And the man turned startled and says, "Well, I'm looking into the rock." And the little boy says, "What do you see?" The man smiled and says, "Well, what do you see?" Now the little boy began to look at the rock and inspect it and touch it and walk around it, and came around, and at the end of it he says, "I see a rock." "What do you see?" And there a seasoned Michelangelo said, "I see King David." You know, sometimes God calls us to use more than just our visual eyes of seeing, and use our faith eyes so that we can see more. That's not just in the world around us, but that's in the person of who we are. That's why in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, it says that we are God's workmanship. You know what that is? That means we are God's masterpiece in the making. Every day he chisels away a little bit more. Sometimes that's great, sometimes that's painful. But in the midst of it, we end up being that which he has called us to be, and that is his most beautiful masterpiece to show the world the picture of his grace. The question is, are you willing to let God chisel the excess away? Remember, in faith, seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. Thank you for joining me on today's Light of Liberty. And remember, to him whom the Son has set free is free indeed. Now, that's a life that we can live. God bless you as you go into this week.